All right, so in this recording, we're going to talk a little bit about how you will outline your argumentative reflection. In your books, there is an example which you can use as a guide and a reference as you create your own outline, but as they note here, it's not a complete sample. So I'd just like to note for you that I suggest you skip the hook or introduction for now. You just skip that and move on down to the body paragraphs. You're going to do your body paragraphs and your conclusion first, and then you're going to do your hook, your introduction paragraph when you do your final, or when you do your first draft, which is our next step. So in the body paragraphs and evidence, this one is the body paragraph 1 and reason 1. You're going to start by stating your reason that supports your claim. In this example, the topic is the death penalty. So you're going to start by stating your reason. One reason I believe the death penalty should be banned is because there have been so many exonerations. So that is the claim. Once you have your claim and your reason, then you're going to have to introduce your evidence. Make sure that in your introduction of evidence you give enough background information that will allow your reader to understand what it is that you're trying to tell them. So here's the example. Exonerations are when people who are accused of a crime have their convictions reversed. So that means that if, as a reader, you didn't know what an exoneration was, as a writer, you would have to explain that to the reader. This means that additional evidence has been found to prove that they are innocent. Many people serving prison sentences are released after years in prison, but if the person is sentenced to death, it is impossible to correct this mistake. So this is the background information. It gives a definition of a word that was not obvious. So you, as the writer, are going to have to think about what about your reason is maybe not going to make sense to your reader, and you have to explain that to them. Then you're going to put in your evidence. So you can summarize it, you can quote, you can use ellipsis if you need to, and then you're going to cite its source. So in this case, between 1989 and 2014, there have been a total of 1,300 exonerations, and that's from NBC News. These are nearly 1,300 lives that have had their freedom snatched away for years, nearly 1,300 people that could have been executed even though they were innocent. So this is your evidence, a summary of that evidence, and then finally you're going to clarify how that evidence proves the reason or supports your claim. That's your warrant. So in this case, this evidence suggests that the justice system makes a lot of mistakes. Because the data shows that the convictions are often wrong, the government shouldn't take the chance of executing an innocent person. So you're going to do this evidence and warrant for each of your pieces of evidence. So once you state your problem, you're going to introduce evidence 1, you're going to say evidence 1, you're going to make the connection in the warrant, and then you're going to do that again for your second piece of evidence. When you've done those two things, then you're going to bring it back with a conclusion sentence that ties the body paragraphs together by connecting both pieces of evidence back to the reason in support of the claim. So in this example, banning the death penalty can prevent the risk of killing innocent people, and if this kind of mistake ever happens again, then at least they do not have to worry about dying for something that he or she did not do. So that is the conclusion, restating the evidence and tying it back into the claim. And again, just to reiterate, for body paragraphs 1 and 2, you're going to do that for each piece of your evidence, 2 for your problem and 2 for your solution. For your third body paragraph, you're going to introduce the counterclaim. So your topic sentence will introduce the counterclaim. On the other hand, some people may believe that we should have the death penalty for those who have committed atrocious crimes. Some people believe serial killers should die to give a sense of closure to the families. That's the topic sentence for your counterclaim. Then a rebuttal explaining how the counterclaim could be refuted. However, if this criminal is given imprisonment for life, then the families will still have a sense of closure, since this person will be behind bars forever and the family would not have to worry. Then you want to find a quote that refutes the counterclaim or a quote that supports the counterclaim, whichever you found. You're going to cite its source. Furthermore, since 1973, more than 150 people have been released from death row with evidence of their innocence. And then your warrant, you're going to explain or clarify how the evidence disproves the counterclaim. And in this case, if a victim's family found out that another innocent person was killed as a result of the death of their loved one, they would feel even worse. So then you tie it all back together in a conclusion sentence by connecting the rebuttal and the evidence in support of the claim. If what people want is to punish the criminals and make them pay for what they did, then take away their liberty forever and forget about capital punishment, which means the death penalty. So that's what you do in your body paragraph 3, your counterclaim. Finally, what you're going to do is write a conclusion. So first you want to restate your claim by rewording the problem and what someone should do something about it. So in this example, overall, getting rid of capital punishment is beneficial to everyone. Then you're going to summarize the reasons that you used. So go back to your body paragraph 1 and 2 and restate what it is that you argued in those paragraphs. Then think about what might happen if this situation is not taken seriously and connect it to the claim. Here's an example of that. I want this to be reduced. I don't want any more families to suffer because of this punishment. I want justice by taking this punishment away. I don't want any more errors like these to happen. We need to stop all this madness and wake up out of the dream that we can do whatever with lives. This needs to stop now. So in this particular example, the person goes back to the personal connection and really tries to hammer home to the reader why this person thinks that the death penalty is wrong. So in your conclusion, you want to do the best you can at convincing your reader that your reason, your claim, your argument is as strong as it could possibly be. And when you finish all of this, you can go back to the beginning and check your work against your rubric. So that's how we're going to outline our essays.